Hey guys, happy Sunday. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am absolutely thrilled to have an amazing Canadian singer, super talented lady, much anticipated interview. She's feeling better today. Michelle Truman from Toronto. How you doing, girl?
Hey, girl! I'm great. I'm so good.
It's so good to have you here today. Michelle, before we get started, I have to ask you about your name tag there. Michelle and Mike party at ours. Are you inviting us to a party?
No, I don't even know who that is, but I like parties. I do like parties. I don't know why that's on there. You know what? I have no answer to that. I thought you
You're
knew
gonna
that.
plead the fifth. No, that's funny.
No, I
That's
have no idea. No idea. I see the thing
so.
going by on Toronto. That's what I see. I'm like, yes, that one's true. Yeah. The other one going,
Pretty good, China.
yeah.
Michelle, we have a lot to talk about, obviously, with your new gig as the new lead singer for Toronto.
Yeah.
But I always like a good backstory. And, you are not new to the entertainment industry because you were doing commercials as a kid. And so
Yeah.
go ahead and give us a little background, Michelle, if you don't mind. Just tell us a little bit about
Yeah.
your story.
I mean, it's amazing. I've been in the entertainment industry for about 64 years, and I started,
You look
as a kid.
amazing.
I know it's amazing because I'm only 42, so just supposed to show you how hard I work. No, I was a kid actor, and I give credit to my mom because that's the full-time job is being a mother, getting you into the city to, have your kid not have boogers in their face and cheese in their hair because kids do, and to have you in there and to park downtown Toronto, which is another job itself, and to take you to auditions and then to callbacks. And, my mom, there's three of us. I have two big brothers who were also used to be in the industry. Then, they didn't stick with it. So I grew up doing a lot of commercials, TV shows, kid modeling. I was born with a face that says, I love peanut butter. So that,
Is that the commercial you did, is peanut butter?
I was the face of Kraft peanut butter for a few years. Yeah.
Is that right? Wow, what a claim to fame.
Yeah, I know. No, you know what? I think the best one I was known for the most was I was the kid for Crest toothpaste. When Crest came out with sparkles in the toothpaste.
I remember that.
This guy.
That's you.
This guy. So I grew up in, a small town Milton, doing TV and print ads and so, and I went to just a regular small town high school. And at this point, I think that I'm a total pro. I'm like, what do we do here that's acting? Because I'm an actor at 13, right? And all there was in this small town high school was musicals. And I'm like, well, I'm an actor. They're like, well, you have to sing, like just to audition anyway. And I should have played.
Would have it.
I should have played the Crest card, and I didn't. So they made me sing, and I don't remember what I sang. It was probably, I don't know, Scorpions. and so I got hired, and just this high school musical thing. They're like, oh, like, you're a singer, and I'm like, I'm an actor. They're like, you're a singer, you're a natural singer. So that was just kind of my segue into music. At that point, I was still young, and I just called my agent that I had for, my entire life and just said, well, I'm a singer.
As we all do when we're 10, 12,
Totally, yeah. And that was it. It was just me saying like, well, I'm a singer now. So, and, I'm sure my agent's laughing at this child being me. Oh, I don't know what's beeping. Coffee's ready. So I just said, like, I'm a singer now, so send me out for musical auditions. And so that segued into a lot of years me doing musical theater professionally, but it was always rock musical theater. And so that's kind of my path. And as soon as I graduated high school in Milton, Ontario, I was on a plane to England, starting to work right away. I was lead singer of a cruise ship, toured Europe for 2 years, lived in England for a while doing a girl group that... Man, we were signed and everything. It's kind of when like Destiny's Child was just coming out, and the girl group thing were everything. So I lived in Germany for 2 years, and I was in a girl group, and it was called Envy. And this is before the internet, so you won't find it. So don't try.
Don't even try.
Don't try. Yeah, and I guess from there it's snowballed.
And the rest, as they say, is history.
Yeah.
I think having that type of experience, Michelle, with the acting and it just makes you it makes you for sure a triple threat.
For
Because
sure.
you can act, you can sing, you're drop dead gorgeous. And I'm
Okay.
wondering, how do you, and I know you've also done, you've done some tribute acts with Shania Twain
Yeah, ABBA.
and you do always ABBA, right?
Yeah, that's
And
my
so
company.
how do you then get to be in the amazing band Toronto? How does that happen?
I'm sure they're kicking themselves in the ass. I don't know. Um,
Probably not.
very sexy me right now. You're fired. You
Is
know,
Barry on the phone?
he could be. There's so many steps in between, and they just, looking back, they just all kind of make sense. It's almost like walking. It was one foot in front of the other, led to this, which led to this, which led to this, which led to this. There's so many, chapters in there that, I wish we had days together to talk about. I've been in a lot of bands. A lot of work actually came out of Winnipeg people, Winnipeg guys. And so that's a shout out to Chris Sutherland of the amazing Street Heart now. He had me in a band years and years ago called Snake Oil Sinners. And there was one guy, Derek from Harlequin. Darren Moore was in it, who left Harlequin. Chris Sutherland, who's, played with everybody. And, just like those puzzle pieces right there, years later, when Barry and Woodsy were looking to find someone, so I never had an audition, but they knew of my name. So then for me to be as fortunate as I am to have worked with so many people and genres previously, all they had to do is say, tell me about Truman, and I'd have a good review because people had worked with me. And that's kind of it. I do believe that my name was suggested to Woods and Barry through my friend Dusty, who is now in Saga. That was the hookup through him. Thanks, Dusty.
And so you actually, we were talking this morning, and you actually were already singing with the band for 3 3/4 years.
3 5/4 of years. Yeah. You do the math. Yeah, so, but I can't do fractions.
Actually, we're getting a ton of comments flying in, so I'm gonna get started on some of those if that's cool. So Richard Bruce is just making a comment about peanut butter.
Yes, smoother, crunchy.
Smooth. I think smooth, crunchy. Peanut butter should not be crunchy in my opinion, but so Beats Bullard is saying, good morning from Adelaide, Australia.
Hi, girl.
Do you know her?
Absolutely. Wonderful person. I believe last time we saw each other, we were in New York City, and she held my purse because I was on fire.
This is funny. Yeah. Beats is saying, good morning from Adelaide, Australia. It's 4:40 a.m., so I'm going back to snooze, but I love you.
I love you, too.
So how nice of her just to check in, right? Gene Greenwood. Greenwood, you must know him. He's saying, Michelle, I freaking miss you on the road.
Aww. Last time I saw him was when we played CanaFest. I believe. Yeah, we played
Michelle, because he's saying Michelle is one of the most underrated singers and entertainers in our world. Finally, now she is going to rock. Oh,
thank you. That's very. Thank you. Very.
That's nice. What a great compliment. And then now Richard Bruce is saying hi to Jean, and Beats is replying now that she just had to get up and say hello.
I love that you did. Thank you. Go back to sleep.
Right. Go back to sleep, girl.
Drink more water. Go back to sleep.
Awesome. And so Perry Boyko, who's a good friend of mine and such a great fan of the show, he's just saying, good morning, ladies. Let's talk about the band, Michelle, because what a lineup.
Wow, I know. It's like going to prom every time I go to work. It's just so exciting. Yeah.
Can you tell the viewers a little bit about the lineup?
Well, yeah, currently, new to me, but what do I know? Steve Shelsky, he's a Canadian guitar hero, right? Shelsky, he wrote Monkey Bars. That's right. The Hatch. Steve Shelsky, my big brother Jim Gilmore. I mean, Saga. That's he's scratching the surface. He's
I love Jim. I love Jim. Yeah, Jim was on the show, and he's just a fantastic human, eh?
I watched that. Yeah, fantastic. I love him. He's he calls me little sister. I call him big brother, and it's more than work. It's become such a family. And Carmela Long, who I just adore. She's now backup singer, and she of course plays for Glass Tiger and used to play for Toronto. So she's back, and I couldn't be happier that she is. Because I think I told Barry, I said, if it's not Carmela, I'd do not get a girl. Because no one wants to work with a girl unless it's Carmela.
Right.
And the mighty Tom Lewis, who I'm one of his biggest fans. And Tom Lewis, he and I played together in a lot of things. He's a bass player in my Always ABBA as well. And he is, what a bass player. He really is incredibly talented and he's held in such high regard from a lot of people. And that's because he's so talented, but also because he's just a great dude. Very, very down to earth, smart, fun, such a great family man, and just a good hang. He's awesome. Yeah. And I guess that leaves the dude on the throne, which is Barry Connors.
Hi, Barry. I know he's watching.
I know he is. He's like, what is she going to say? He's so worried.
Barry's great. Barry's been on the show. Half the band's been on the show. Barry was on the show. And I was warned that he was extremely funny. And he didn't disappoint. He's just a beautiful human. He's a super funny guy. And so it was a pleasure to have him on, as well as Jim Gilmore from Saga, of course, too. And, Incidentally, I was chatting with Holly, you guys know her as Holly out there, but Anne. I had a little chat with Anne, and she's going to come on the show and visit us at some point too. So.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome! I will be watching, and I will be just in love with it because she's a sister to me, and with the way the band evolves, the friendship remains the strongest thing. Yeah, so I just adore her. She knows that. If she sees this, I tell her often enough. I just love her, and I have so much respect for her and so much care for her just as a person.
Right, 100%. And Michelle, those were pretty big shoes to fill, and I can, I can only imagine what type of pressure that comes along with. But I was listening to you from Shake the Lake in Regina, and I say this from honest part of my heart. I can't imagine anybody else doing a better job of it.
Oh,
and I mean that seriously.
Thank you, Kelly. That's really nice to hear. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks very much.
You betcha. And do you have a favorite Toronto song that you like to sing?
Oh, yeah. I think I really love singing Head On.
Right.
Because it's pretty balls to the wall.
It sure is.
You know what? I got to say, this isn't answering your question, but I just love that the show opens with Get It On Credit. I just think it just instantly just tidal waves energy into your face, within one bar, and you're going to live forever. I love that. That's not my favorite song to sing. It's an exciting moment to be a part of. I also really like singing When Can I See You Again? That's a good song.
Right. Beautiful song too. Michelle, whenever I'm getting ready in the bathroom in the morning before the show, I always listen to whatever guest I'm having on that day. I crank their music and I kind of get a vibe. And I was listening to the Toronto Greatest Hits today, and I was, because I've been a fan since I was a kid, literally, and I was pleasantly reminded about how many hit songs that Toronto has. There's Your Daddy Don't Know, and one of my favorite ones is it's kind of a toss. I love Silver Screen.
Okay.
And I love It Comes From You. I've always loved that song, and It Comes From You.
Oh,
it's an old one. No, it's probably just maybe not even on the song listing, right? That's from one of the very first albums, and the song basically it is the quintessential concert song because the lyrics are hit the lights, turn it loud, we're all stars tonight. It comes from you, and it's I was listening to that today, and it almost made me emotional because it's just the song is written. I'm a big fan of songs that mentally transport me to somewhere. And when you listen to that song, it's transporting you to that magic that only can happen in a concert hall when all these people are coming together for one single common ground is that they love the artist that they're watching. And yeah, but I was reminded of how many songs. I think I know the words to every single Toronto song out there.
Well, and I do know that you were in bands for a lot of years. What was it, 20, 21, 23 years?
I was literally on the road like nonstop for 23 years. Like no,
yeah. We should make an interview about you.
People have been saying that, so that I need to be interviewed. So I don't know, maybe you can interview me next time.
Okay, I got questions. Yeah, that's really cool. That's nice that you had that song and that feeling this morning. And I believe that is the power of music, is that it can make you emotional and it can give you, that put those feelings into you and transport you from the moment you're in or heighten moments, and also do the opposite too, which is very healthy too, I think. But, that's the power of it.
Yeah, there's nothing like it. There really is nothing like it, and what I love, let's face it, in this day and age, a lot of the Canadian bands, and we're fortunate in Canada to have so many bands that have had longevity, they've had these amazing 30, 40-year careers, and they're still so relevant. People still want to hear them. And, thank God that people, like yourself are grabbing that torch and carrying it on, because, obviously there's going to be changes. People are going to move on. That when you can't talk about a 40-year career and not expect some changes. And how grateful are we that you've grabbed that torch and you're carrying on the music that we love to hear.
Thank you, but I don't want to forget about me. But Paul McNair,
right? Absolutely.
There's so many people to say, and I just adore Kat. And I will take us off script for 1 second and just say, the camaraderie we have in this Canadian rock scene, the circle, and the women bond that we have is so incredible. And I don't think I've ever seen it in any other scene or situations before. But Kat, amazing. And Lee, I just want to hug her and live in her pocket. She's just so amazing and kind to me and just so cool. And it's such a great, I don't know, it just makes you feel so grateful. And then back to what you were saying about taking over, they're kind of running with the torch at the Olympics, carrying on. Paul McNair, thank you for the compliment, what you said about me doing it, but can anyone touch what Paul does in Street Heart? Kenny Field was so fantastic. And, now the music gets to live on in respect to him and to honor it. And because the rest of the guys are so great and that music still has relevance. So Paul McNair steps in. I'm like, you couldn't find anyone better to do that. And same as Cat and Headpins.
Right. I agree. They've all been on the show. Paul McNair was on the show.
Yeah. I watched. Yeah.
You saw that show. And, I will say this, and getting back a little bit to Michelle, to what you were saying about, how the camaraderie amongst the women. The guests that I have been fortunate enough to have on my show, they have all been the most gracious, kind, humble people. And Paul McNair, and, getting back to what you just said, Paul McNair was one of those. And Jeff Neal has got to be one of the most gracious humans I've ever met.
I've been waiting to say his name. Yes.
Yeah. And I think do you think, Michelle, that there's certain challenges that women face in the music industry more so than men?
Oh, hell yes.
Don't get me started.
Girl, you've been a part of it, very well. Yeah. One more challenge to overcome though, right? I'm positive.
That's right. Yeah.
Very positive. Right. It's a people, but no, of course there is. That's a part of it. Can you withstand it? Is it going to crumble you? No. Is it going to upset you? Sure. Is it going to build a thicker skin? Yeah. For sure.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. And I like to think that it's not so prevalent now, maybe as it was, 20 years ago, for example. I think. I like to think.
Yeah, I agree with you, possibly. But maybe it's also just that we found our tribe and we're in a world and a friend and a hang and a scene and a world now where It's you wouldn't have it come in. You know, there's no squeaky, what's it called, leaky pipes in this unit. And by this unit, I mean kind of everyone that, you know, that you interview and that I'm on the road with and see. Everyone, I like to call it like Uncle Bernie Aubin, Uncle Bernie. All of us children of Uncle Bernie, you know, there's just so much love for each other that no, I would never expect to be treated inappropriately from anyone in this world that we are a part of. Yeah.
Right. This community.
This community,
right.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, man, you know, Michelle, the comments are just flying in. I won't be able to keep up to them all, but Sharni QTs is saying, so proud of you, beautiful, in the UK. John Helfrich is just, he says Kenny would have been 74 years old today.
Oh, wow. Happy birthday to Kenny.
Happy birthday, Kennedy. Kenny, we love you. What a coincidence that we're just talking about him.
Yeah.
Perry Boyko is just saying, Michelle, you know my friend Stephanie Thompson.
Yeah.
Okay. Just proud of you. You know, cool job, guys. Jean Greenwood is saying, Kelly, thanks so much for bringing Michelle on live, as I got my Truman fix for now.
I love that guy. Man, Jean, you are a beast. You just, oh man, you are just an amazing, inspiring guy. That guy's the best. I know the last time I saw him now, we were out playing in Hard Rock Casino, Vancouver. I think Chilliwack was there that night. And Jean and I sat down and we had lunch and we caught up. And I'm so happy that you're healthy, my friend, Jean. Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. Oh, hey, messages from Jared Billy. I have not seen Jared in years. Hey, buddy, thanks so much for tuning in. Jared says that we need more Canadian banjo players. I think that's smart-ass humor. Yep, Jared's being a smart-ass as always, but I love that guy. It's so cool to see you here, Jared. You know, Michelle, getting back to the hits that, like, the countless songs that people, you know, love to hear, still love to hear, will always love to hear, you know, generations. It really has crossed generations. And I guess my question to you is, in your opinion, what is it about these songs that you think gives them such mass appeal?
Well, there's a few things. Well, it's, I think, emoting. If you can emote in a song, you know, you don't just sing a song. You don't just play the notes. You don't just, you know, hit the drums. When you do it with intention and with, like, feel, you put the emotion into it, I think that really comes across, and that's what makes songs timeless. And then there's just, you know, just like the music math of it. Like, you know, you write a hook, you have a big chorus, you got a catchy bridge. Lyrical matter, you know, it has to resonate with people. Even if it's not something that someone's been through, you know, you want to write a song with, like, the lyrics are like, when people hear it, they're like, oh, that's my song. Like, they wrote that about me.
That's my story. Right.
Yeah, exactly. To relate to it, and kind of, I call it like you wear it, you know, like that's your skin almost, what you're hearing. I think it's those factors. I think, you know, it's also the magic of what the members create together. Again, you can play the notes, you can sing the notes. There's a huge difference between singing it with passion and with feel and emoting it. And also, you know, 2 people playing together, even better, 5 people playing together. When you are enjoying and you're playing off each other and you're a unit, you know, you're not just like, wait, you're looking at each other and you're playing off what I'm hearing from you. I think that's the magic of just like, boom, how can people not feel this?
Absolutely right. Yeah. It's, you know, when we're talking about these songs with mass appeal, you know, it makes me think of, What About Love, which some people would be surprised to know is not a hard song. Yeah. That is written and performed originally by Toronto.
Yeah.
You know, songs like that just have such mass appeal and longevity, and Toronto just has so many of them. And, you know, I guess my question for you is, you know, the last 2 years, and I kind of hate to segue down this road, but I'm gonna put a positive spin on this. So this summer, I would imagine, was the first time in a lot of I don't know, probably 2 years that you performed, I would imagine.
Actually, no. I had about a month before that played Great Eagle Casino with my show Always ABBA.
Oh, great. Okay.
And about maybe 5 weeks previous to that, I had done a country legends show with Tom Lewis. Also, Tom Lewis. I was on the two where I do.
Great.
So I had done a few shows leading up to Regina with Toronto, which was, I'm really glad that it happened that way, because I felt like it kind of warmed, like the voice. It's like, it's a muscle, right? It's a part of the body. You don't just get out of bed and friggin' run a marathon. You got to warm up to it. And I felt like those gigs kind of got my sea legs back a little, kind of warmed me up for the Regina. And then there's no warming up for going out on a festival like that. There's just no warming up for it. Like, just be prepared to be knocked off your feet, which I was, because of the group love, because of who was there, because of Jeff Neal. I'm on the plane sitting beside Davide from Tom Cochrane, who's just a fantastic drummer. Jeff Jones, bass player Tom Cochrane. 2 rows back from me is Barry throwing things at my head. And then we get to the drama, and then holy crap, that's another story. And the love and the power and the excitement, and us in Ontario with COVID was very different than when we got to Saskatchewan. That was another moment. I've got dog hair on me. there was so much love and so much power. There was so much power. So I say that the other shows warmed me up. There was no warming up for that. That was just be prepared to be hip checked.
Be prepared for one of the most amazing weekends of your life, no doubt, though, eh?
For sure. Yes, absolutely.
Right. And so do you think you learned, I guess where I was going with that last question is do you think differently since COVID? Has it changed your perspective on life?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I have more appreciation. I have more gratitude. I have more admiration to see how my friends and people have learned something new, but it's not necessarily new. It's, I've always said, I said from the start of COVID, all we know as entertainers is to adapt. That's all we know how to do. And you know that, given your experience and your history. All we know is to adapt. Boom, you have no monitors. What are you going to do? You don't stop the show. You adapt through it. This was one big monitor down 2 years. We adapted, everyone adapted. So I've got a huge appreciation to see how people have blossomed in other ways. And of course, there was moments and months and so many meltdowns of depression and the hard emotion. That's a part of it. That we don't overlook that. That was hard. I'm so social. I've got this little pulley on my back. You just let me go. I'm a big fireball of energy. And there was a lot of times where I just didn't want to even speak and talk and reach out to people. And, that's a part of the process too. That was a part of it. So now to have that excitement back, things that were normal, if you will, before, like seeing friends,
right,
then became forbidden.
Yeah.
Now to have that back, it's not just having it back, it's having back with you don't know what you got, so it's gone.
Absolutely.
Now it's back, and oh my God, I got goosebumps even saying it. The idea to be in a hotel room, drinking too much with our family, with the guys. It's man, oh man, I always loved it. But now I'm damn lucky. Damn lucky. Yeah.
It takes on a whole new meaning, doesn't it?
Sure does.
It just something simple like having dinner with friends is now suddenly,
sure does.
It's huge.
Yeah.
So Scott Wright says, "Hey, baby girl."
Hey, girl. Hey.
Gary Boyko is saying, feeling emotions the way people can relate to it. I agree, Michelle. Music is all about feeling and emotion.
Yeah.
So Michelle, you know what, as you've been in this industry for, one way or another, through the acting or the music. What would you tell your 18-year-old self? What, given what you know now.
Check your blind spot before changing lanes. You know what? I would tell her to keep at it. I wouldn't change anything if I could. If I could change, I wouldn't change a single thing, because whatever it was, all the hardships, all the hard times, all the hurdles, what's happening with my crazy hair, all the challenges, all the rough times, all the, the things that I did maybe call them wrong were right in the end, because it's brought me to where I am today. And I am I'm a happy person. I'm really happy. I'm very grateful. I have a huge appreciation. And, you know, you speak to a lot of my best friends, and, you know, if the conversation ever comes up, they know that I appreciate them. I just love them. And I will say it's one of the greatest, like, I feel like I've got like that Willy Wonka golden ticket in my pocket, that I have so much love from my friends, and I have the respect. And I just think I've got like the best people in my world. I really do. Yeah. So I wouldn't anything. I wouldn't make 18 Michelle change anything. I mean, she made a lot of mistakes, but they carried on until like last week. But, you know, I wouldn't change a thing, because everything that I've done has brought me to where I am, what I know, how I am, and how I feel, what I've learned along the way. And I like where I'm at. I do. How could I not? Right.
Right. And, you know, and I see that gratitude with you. And I think that's such a beautiful trait.
Thank you.
You know, for us humans to have. And so Uncle Bernie is in fact watching, because he just commented. Hi, Bernie. Bernie says Uncle Bernie is watching.
Uncle Bernie. Are we going to Mexico? I think we're going to Mexico together.
We should all go to Mexico.
Yeah.
So Michelle, you know, on a little more of a serious personal note here, you know, you've obviously had a ton of experiences and successes, and you've led a pretty extraordinary life to date. What would you say is your best achievement or your best moment so far?
Best moment? That's a tough one.
There's been many, right?
Yeah, there's so many, but the best moment is just like, I think like 2 minutes ago with you and I talking about how fortunate we are. That's the best moment. That's the best moment. Going like, look around, look what you got. What I got is I've got this platform with you right now. I'm very grateful for that. I'm going to get off the phone. I'm going to talk to Barry. I'm very grateful for that. I'm going to send a message to Jeff McNeil tomorrow, just saying, I think you're amazing, and hear back from him. I'm so grateful for that. I think he's an amazing person. If he ever saw Jeff, which, by the way, I'm trying to get him. I think he should be knighted. I think he needs to be Sir Jeff. I really do.
I would agree. I would agree.
I can't handle what's happening. But those are, to me, the greatest moments. Also, you know, getting the email saying that we're booked at whatever festival. Like, those are the greatest moments. Obviously, including the being on stage is the greatest moment. That is the most comfortable moment for me. Like, I'm more comfortable on stage than I am right now, than I am having dinner with my cousins. Like, sorry, I love you, but those are the greatest moments.
But you stress me out.
And the greatest achievement for me personally, and I know it's different for everyone else, as it should be, the greatest achievement for me, honestly, is that I have been so employed, that I have been consistently booked, constantly busy, constantly hired in different genres, spanning different, you know, styles and stuff. And I do attribute a lot of that to, it's not just talent is part of it. The huge part of it is being good to work with. You know,
I would agree.
Being easy, being fun, being lovable. Like, that's a huge part of it. Taking direction well, respecting, you know, being a part of a unit, not like I'm the singer. It's like, no, you're part of the band. That's my appreciation, my greatest appreciation, or I don't know what the word you said is the recognition that I have been constantly working and continue to be constantly grateful.
Right. Absolutely. Because, you know, it's not like back in the, like, you know, I don't mean to be all like back in the day, but back in the day, when I first went on the road, and I say this all the time, is that you couldn't swing a dead cat without hitting a gig. Like, we had an agent, and we literally worked year round, week after week. We lived in hotels, and, you know, and I feel so fortunate to have been a part of that, you know, to be able to cut my teeth, you know, when you're forced to do it every night, 6 nights a week, whether you feel great or not, you know, and it's not that way today. And so, you know, given the climate of the way things are today, Michelle, what advice would you have to give? Because I'm sure there's young females watching this right now that watch you, they'd be like, I want to be her. What advice would you give them, you know, the up and coming artists?
I don't know. That's a great question. I have to think about that. I don't have I normally have words to just say right away, and I don't. That's a thinker. That's a great question. Very good question.
Yeah, I think you just persevere and don't ever let anybody tell you no. I think,
Yeah, yeah. But sometimes the no's are great too. Like sometimes hearing no is, what's going to maybe take you knock you down I don't want to say knock you down, but maybe take you that
right.
little bit more depth to then find your truth, to then find that soul power. So I don't know. It's a good question. Also, I can't give advice to people. I'm still trying to find advice for myself. But do everything with integrity, I guess, is maybe the one thing I'd say. Whatever you do, whether it's, you're a horn player or you're a janitor or, you're a makeup artist or you're a rocketeer. That's not a thing. But do it with integrity. Do it with pride.
Yeah, well, I would agree with you. That's a great answer right there, Michelle. That is the best answer ever. And it shows with people that we're talking about that integrity goes a long way. And I mean, I know, and I'm sure you probably know of artists that have kind of watched their career dwindle because they were hard to work with. And that integrity, I really believe that is the best advice you could have given you, because I think at the end of the day, that's where you get Jeff Neal is a man of integrity, and I learned from him. The one thing about Jeff is, and then not to go back to Jeff, but since we were talking about it, you're saying,
let's go back to Jeff.
Saying, I'll text Jeff tomorrow, and you know what? He will text you back. Jeff is the guy that will post something on Facebook, and if he gets 100 responses from fans, he will answer every one.
Yep. And his posts are very, you do always have to promote your work. Of course, that's the nature of the business. But he does everything with so much gratitude. Right. Also, it's not just, this is what I'm about to do, buy tickets. You have to promote your show. But then he'll say, what a great time that was. Thank you for coming out after the fact. There's no money to be made after the fact. That's just, you're a damn good person. Right. I think he's such a great person. And I'm so fortunate to be in a world that I get to be around him. And so many of the people in that scene. So many people. So many other. Yeah.
The Canadian music industry is just full of amazing people. I don't know a lot of American artists. My show's all Canadian all the time and will always be. Yeah. But I just think there's something about Canadian musicians. There's just a camaraderie amongst them. And, I was at Rock the River this summer, and Uncle Bernie took me backstage, to all the tents were set up.
Yes.
And I got to meet a ton of guests that had been on my show, which was such an absolute thrill. But, what I saw was these different musicians from different big bands all wishing each other a good show, all giving them a high five on their way off to do their show, and actually sticking around and watching it and supporting. And it was really beautiful to witness. It was really beautiful to witness that. So
sure it is.
Yeah. How lucky, eh? How lucky.
Yeah, that reminds me. That was the Saskatchewan show. Saskatoon,
yeah.
Okay, so we did that a couple years ago. Uncle Bernie might be watching this. We might be doing it next year. Is that true? Stay tuned. We might.
Stay tuned. Bernie might answer us. So.
I don't know. Anyway, so that was the gig we did a few years ago, and I believe that night was us, Headpins, and Lisa. Oh my gosh, Lisa's another amazing woman. I just want to give a shout out to. That's another part of this family. Oh my God, I'm so lucky that I'm, that I can call her a friend. So I want to give a shout out to her. She takes such amazing photos of all of these great people we're talking about. And then also is just the most greatest friend ever. And, I talk to her often. So I just want to give some love out there to her. Because, she posts a lot about everyone else. And I just want to sing her praises. But so we were at that show. We played that show. Had been us, I believe, Nazareth. And Nick Gilder, who I watched your interview with him. He's another one. I just love him. Yes, he's such a great guy. So anyways, that gig, backstage, because you were there in the tents and stuff, there's the little mini bar fridges. So that was the night, and I'll send you the picture after the interview. That was the night that I'm like, I think that I can fit in that. So we did our gig, and it's like chug beers, shotgunning, Lakeport Lights, and I'm like, I'm gonna fit in that. Deli tray comes out, Truman goes in. So I'll send you a picture.
Shenanigans. Sounds like shenanigans.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Michelle, what's coming next for Toronto?
Oh, wow.
Gigs and
Yeah, there's gonna be some gigs. You know, 'tis the season right now to be booking for next. Well, definitely the festival season, but I believe, you know, the casinos have always been great to us. Out west, Vancouver, Edmonton, Red Deer, Swift Current, all those places. Those are in the works right now. So I did hear down the gossip train, Barry, that that we've got some stuff coming up. But also, we're going to be recording very soon, and in fact, very soon. I believe on Tuesday, Barry will be in the studio recording drum parts. I believe a few days after that will be Jim Gilmore. And then to follow will be myself. And that'll be happening in the next couple weeks.
That's
So
exciting news.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is.
That's, well, we can't wait. We can't wait. Absolutely. You know, I'm just going to mention one more comment before we wrap up here. So Perry Boyko was saying, do it with passion. You are totally right, Michelle. I look up to my brother, Jeff Neal, Bernie Aubin, Anthony Delacroix,
Anthony, yes.
Matt Lawrence, Barry Michelle, totally awesome family.
That's totally, yeah, he said it. Absolutely. And yeah, I didn't say Anthony's name before. Anthony's the best. He's a great guy. Love being around him.
And Perry just wants you to know, Michelle, that he thinks you're playing Saskatoon next year at Rock the Rivers.
I'm getting back in the fridge. I'm going to get back in the fridge. You want it? You should come.
I will come. Will I have my own fridge?
No, you can interview me from the fridge. I will give you. I also would just want to throw out, since you asked what's coming up, the Kiss shirt. I wanted to give a shout. Sharni, who's in England, she's an incredible designer. So Sharni Q Designs. If anyone, you should all go look at her stuff. And she's hooked me up with. I can't say too much right now, but there'll be something coming out that will include myself and great guy producer Greg and Honeymoon Suite Johnny will be a part of it. So,
sweet.
Oh, Honeymoon. Wait, I also want to say Gary Lalonde. Gary Lalonde is another Earth Angel.
Right.
Yeah.
From Honeymoon Suite, another great guy. Like just
he was also in Toronto.
Wow, just talent all over the board, eh?
Yeah. He's another wonderful.
You know, I just want to thank everybody for their comments and for tuning in today. And you know, Michelle, you're delightful. You come back anytime.
I would love to, Kelly. I want to say I've been watching your show, and it's just such a pleasure to be on it. Thank you. But just to even chatting with you on the phone, I think you're absolutely lovely, and I think you're doing so great. And I've loved your work for a while and, revisiting some recently to kind of get in the loop for this. But you're doing such a great job and it's so awesome. And I think that it's so needed and it's so loved at a time where connection is harder to get these days. You are you're making that happen. So good on you. Great job.
Thank you so much for that. Really, that touches me, and thank you so much. It's I consider it a serious honor. I really do consider it an honor and a privilege to talk with you fine people every week, and I have the best viewers. I have the most supportive viewers they're just right there every week with me, and so I'm really lucky. And what a slice this has been. You're out, and maybe if you're ever in the area, we'll do lunch.
Love to liquid lunch. Let's do it. I'd love to. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
We'll find up in a fridge somewhere.
And thanks everyone who's viewing and watching. Appreciate it.
Right on. Well, we can't wait to see what's happening next with Toronto. Thank you for letting us in on that little secret that some exciting things are coming down. Yeah. So you take care. All the best. All things amazing to you, Michelle. And we'll see you again soon, no doubt.
Thank you so much.
You bet. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. I'm Kelly Barrett, ETCETERA, live on The Vibe. Next week, I have a special announcement coming up for a guest, which I will be releasing later on today. Take care of each other. Be nice. Stay safe and sane. Till we see you next time. Bye-bye.